Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yo. Good morning. Good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snatch the little gorillas up in this thing. Getting ready to hit you all upside the head with this morning paper. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. Because that's really what this day is about, right? But that's another discussion for another time. Hope everybody's having a good day. I am. You know what I'm saying? It is a good day to eat though, right? What you guys think of this day? It is a good day to eat some good old food. Salute to Yanni's Keynote Daily. Salute to you. Yeah, you new here. It's all good. But yeah, it's happy Thanksgiving. Inflation is inflating. The economy ain't economical at all. But you know, we do what we gotta do, right? And what does our country have planned for us next year? Salute to Universal Truth. Good morning to you. What does our government have planned for us next year? I don't know if you guys are aware, but you know, they have been training up these QRFs, you know what I'm saying, all over the country, within the National Guard or whatever the case may be. They have been training them up for a planned deployment in 2026. And, you know, basically, oh, salute to you, Universal Truth. I appreciate you for checking me out, man. I appreciate you for coming through, checking out the videos, whatever the case may be. Good, how you doing? You know, I appreciate y'all for coming in and checking me out, listening to what I have to say. What do they have planned? For those who don't know, a QRF is a quick reaction force. It's a force that basically does what the title entails, right? It's for quick reaction. They want, you know, squadrons, teams, or whatever the case may be, to be able to deploy quickly to a specific location, to a specific area, or whatever the case may be. They want a quick reaction, basically. They want armed forces to be able to react quickly. And obviously, for this to work properly, you need to have the forces nearby, right? You have to have, so let's say Puerto Rico, for instance. You know, you got to have the forces there to react to whatever is going on in Puerto Rico very quickly. Bobby says, happy Thanksgiving in the #1 country in America. The #1 country in America. Alrighty then. The number one country in America. Okay. Yeah, that's what a QRF is. A QRF is a quick reaction force. Now, we know Donald Trump is not shy about deploying troops within the United States. He has done so in Washington, D.C., Portland. You know, this is something that he wants to make a regular thing. So this quick reaction force will basically see your nearest location, your nearest town, being occupied by U.S. military forces, you know? And what that's going to involve is, it's not going to be anything too crazy, right? It's not going to be anything too crazy. To begin with, there will be a presence. Looks like I'm living well in America. Okay. Nasar Ahmed says, I'm from Afghanistan. Salute to you. Booga booga. What do you mean relax? Salute to the beautiful Queen Sister Cameron in the building, Convos with Cam. Salute to you. Blessings to you and yours as well, Queen. It's not going to be, am I a LARPer? I don't know what that is. A LARPer? I don't know what that is. Isn't that those the people that dress up as knights and shit and swing swords at each other? No, I was not in Afghanistan. Anyway, it's not going to be anything too crazy. There's going to be a presence, and basically they're going to get you accustomed to and comfortable with being occupied by military forces. That is the idea. So they're going to deploy quick reaction forces in multiple locations. And, you know, the goal is to slowly introduce military occupation on the U.S. citizens. This is my opinion based on what's going on, right? And listen, Trump is not the first one to do it. Governor Hochul in New York, she did it during the Biden administration, right? Antifa, I don't know. What do you mean, Antifa? Are you asking me if I'm Antifa? Tell me where, okay. Throwing on our government being occupied by a foreign nation. Well, I think that our government has been occupied by a foreign nation for quite a while, for decades, you know? And it's not really necessarily occupied, it's more like influenced, right? If you think of Israel and other nations, we have to understand how this works. Power comes from influence and resources. Influence and resources. And you don't necessarily need all the resources to have the influence, because if you look at Israel, what resources do they have? They don't really have much at all, do they? No. But they do have influence. How did they get the influence? What an adorable way to say you have a third grade education. Here y'all come. Yesterday, America was attacked at the Capitol, and this guy has no respects and looks threatening. Oh boy. Yeah, 2 National Guardsmen was indeed wounded yesterday in Washington, D.C. And the guy that wounded them was himself wounded before he was caught. So they caught the guy. I don't know what you want me to say about it. All right, I'm getting this guy out of here. If you threaten to snitch, on my channel, for whatever reason you're trying to snitch, I'm getting your monkey ass out of here. I was replying to someone saying it was an Antifa stream. Oh, okay, salute to you, Lucas. No, I'm not Antifa at all. I'm a freedom lover. There's nothing freedom loving about Antifa. I'm pro-freedom. So whatever has to happen for us to achieve that is what I'm all for. That's what this is about. I don't know what this guy talking about reporting me. You can get the fuck out of here, stupid ass. Bro, Palestine is occupied by Israel. Yes, it is. But let's get to the quick QRF. What's with the QRF, right? Why are we deploying QRF to multiple locations? Well, it's under the auspices of public safety, of course. It's always about public safety. It's always about that, right? They always use that. Oh, it's public safety. It's to keep you guys safe. Look what we did in Washington. We reduced the crime. Look at what we did here and there. We reduced the crime. So, of course, what they did in Washington, D.C., well, that was about preparing you guys for this. Well, it worked in Washington, D.C., didn't it? Didn't we reduce the crime? Didn't we end homelessness? No, you didn't. You just moved the homelessness to another location, right? But, you know, I saw this coming. I talked about this a couple months ago when they were talking about deploying troops to Chicago. And I talked about a better solution to help. If you want help to help keep people safe, you have to empower them and remove the obstacles put in place to prevent them from defending themselves by any means necessary. And you can start by ending all the gun control laws. Antifa means anti-fascism, I thought. Shouldn't we all be for anti-fascism? Well, yes, but Antifa as a group, see that, you know, Antifa is a group, right? Just like Black Lives Matter is a organization. I don't support them, but I support the fact, and I always support facts. So, what about this deployment? Well, let's understand what it's about, because I have the information right here. Where am I from? LA. From the West Coast. Yeah, end all firearm controls. Yeah, end all firearm controls, exactly. Repeal the NFA. Empower the people. Allow the people to take up the arms they choose to take up to protect themselves and their communities, right? The government should be defending those rights from anyone who would infringe upon them, right? So if our own government, who is supposed to defend our rights and defend our freedoms, are encroaching and infringing upon our freedoms, then our government has failed at its duty. And our government has committed treason against us. If you want tanks, if you can afford one, and if you're safe, and as long as you're not violating someone else with that tank, I mean, it's your tank. What are you talking about? Yeah, absolutely. If you want a tank, if you want a Claymore mine, if you want a Mick, if you want, you know what I mean? Sure, I'm nuts. I'm nuts because I want to empower the people and not the government. I want it to empower the people and not continue to empower the government that violates our rights every day. If that makes me nuts, so be it. You obviously don't understand what's going on. These are not illegal orders. Who said they are illegal orders? Who? Mojo Hazer. And by the way, I am a U.S. Army veteran. I was infantry. I was at 11 Mike. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If it's blah, 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 then you clearly don't need to be here, and I won't waste your time. So, there you go, Jeff Hager. You're out of here. Some people don't understand the idea of an illegal order. Didn't say it was an illegal order. The illegal order was to send a military contingent into the international waters and start blowing up tiny boats off the coast of Venezuela. That was an illegal order. Yeah, that violated international law. And also, it violates the Constitution because he declared war on a cartel and named a so-called cartel that he says President Maduro is the leader of. He can't do that. It's a violation of the Constitution. So that was an illegal order, by the way. Trump blowing up your stash. Sure. Someone says gag. I don't know why y'all gotta. Here. If my stream is making you gag, let me help you out. You don't ever have to come back. Maybe you not being able to write in my chat will encourage you to stay the fuck away. Right? Good. It's a senator's fucking job to criticize the president use of force. It is a senator's job to question Trump's orders. Absolutely. It is your job to remind service members of their oath. You're absolutely correct. So, what about this deployment? These deployments. Well, let's look at that. Damn it. Damn it. I'm going to have to, give me a second. Oh, here we go. I'm going to have to, pardon me. But yeah, what is the plan? What is the plan? Listen, I understand that you guys, I'm talking about Donald Trump and I'm criticizing Donald Trump. So of course you guys are going to be upset. You're going to call me an idiot. Of course. You're going to call me an idiot because you have nothing of substance to say. I'm here talking to you guys and I'm telling you guys what's going on. Of course you can call me an idiot. That's okay. The deployment was illegal. I said Donald Trump sending our military in international waters to blow up tiny boats is illegal. It's okay. There is no truth to what this man speaks. Well, tell me the truth. Convey what the truth is that will counter what I have been saying. So, hold on. Because nothing I'm saying is the truth, right? It's okay. Revealed. Pentagon orders states National Guards to form quick reaction forces for crowd control. Oh, but there's no truth, right? What did I not speak the truth on? What did I say that isn't the truth or counter to the truth? baseless accusations and assaults on your person. Well, you know, that's how they do. How's that illegal? How's what illegal? Which part? I just told you. Donald Trump is violating international law by going into international waters to blow up tiny boats. You don't understand that? It is what it is. And committing murder. This is murder. So all right. Donald Trump is accusing, and so is Pete Hegseth, is accusing fishermen of smuggling drugs. And instead of, you know, giving them due process, they're just outright killing them. They're committing terrorism in international waters. This is what it is. Drug bots? What's a drug bot? Okay, where's the proof that they are smuggling these drugs? Because every time they blow these boats up, they're blowing the boats up in international water, nowhere near the United States. Nowhere near the United States. This guy on Thanksgiving tells me, on Thanksgiving Day, Barbie girl says, get a job, bum. On Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Anyway, yeah. So if whether or not there were drugs on the boat, it's irrelevant, right? Donald Trump had no right to have those boats blown up in international waters off the coast of Venezuela, nowhere near the United States. It is what it is. They was warned. Anyway, so a top U.S. military official has ordered the National Guards of all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territories to form quick reaction forces trained in riot control, including the use of batons, shields, tasers, pepper spray, according to an internal Pentagon directive reviewed by The Guardian. The memo, signed on October 8th by Major General Ronald Burkett, the Director of Operations for Pentagon National Guard Bureau, sets the threshold for the size of the quick reaction force to be trained in each state, with most states required to train 500 Guard members for a total of 23,000 nationwide. As authority, Burkett cited Donald Trump's August executive order that deployed the Guard to fight crime in Washington, D.C. The same order required the Secretary of Defense to create a standing National Guard quick reaction force available for rapid nationwide deployment to quelling civil disturbances. All right? To quell civil disturbances. Well, what is that? What is a civil disturbance? Who determines what a civil disturbance is? Would a civil disturbance be, I don't know, rural farmers who got screwed by Donald Trump, who thought that he was going to save their life, that thought that he was going to make their life better? Yeah, those rural farmers who are struggling right now and might decide, you know what? We need to find out what the hell is going on. Why are we in this position? They might decide to gather and protest. And I don't know, if the government feels like they're creating a civil disturbance, well, they might get National Guardsmen suck on them to do what God knows what. But, you know, see, civil disturbance, that is a very broad term, very ambiguous. Who was to determine what a civil disturbance is? Someone says, who cares? You'll care if a jackbooted thug has his knee in your neck because you said fuck Donald Trump. You see, they are already going after your free speech. They are already calling for anybody, including Donald Trump. Donald Trump threatened a reporter, right? Threatened a reporter with negative consequences for not reporting him in a positive light after Charlie Kirk's death. Boats illegally on international waters don't have any rights. This idiot Sam Hyde says that boats illegally on international waters don't have any rights. You're a fucking idiot. So if those small boats in international waters don't have rights, neither does the US military in those same international waters. You fucking idiot. The douchebaggery of a guy named Sam Hyde knows no bounds. You are a fucking idiot. I just hope you know that. You just killed yourself. Someone says you a hater. Sure. Antonio calls me a bum and tells me to get a job. On Thanksgiving Day. You people are fucking idiots. He probably works for the government. I used to work for the government in the U.S. Army. Oh, yeah, absolutely. This guy's a commie. You guys are stupid as hell. Good morning. I have never seen a chat room full of as many idiots as are in this chat room. You are crazy. I'm glad you think so. Is this addition to disobey unlawful orders? No, it's not. It's not sedition to do that at all. Am I a socialist? You guys tell me what y'all think I am. I'm not a libertarian either. I am a freedom. I accept nothing but freedom. My ideology is the ideology of freedom. That's my ideology. You can say it's anarchy. You can call it anarchy. You can call it violentism. I call it mind your own goddamn business. And I'm my own goddamn business. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. That's my political, social, and philosophical ideology. We are enjoying our day off. Good for you. I'm glad you are. So am I. Realize, salute to you, Queen. You a brother who knows his rights. Yes, everyone should know their rights. You see, the only right you don't have is to violate the rights of someone else. Period. You can do what you want. You can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else, violating anybody else, damaging someone else's property, thieving, stealing. Yeah. If you want to smoke a bowl of weed, you're smoking a bowl of weed and you are taking the harm into your own body. If you want to drink alcohol and lay up and pass out on your couch, you have every right to do that. If you want to shoot up heroin and enjoy your high, you have a right to do that. Right? Just make sure if you start to lose function as a heroin addict, don't start harming other people. Then you got to be dealt with. Right? You have a right to not have your money, your hard-earned money, taken from you and redistributed to other nations, to corporations, to other people. Oh, we have to help our fellow man. Well, I'll decide how I help my fellow man, and I'll make the decision on where my money goes, or whatever the case may be. When does she go? So they want to deploy quick reaction forces, right? 500 per state for to quell civil disobedience. Now, this nation, right? How long have we had this nation in place? How long have we had this constitution? Almost over 200 years. In over 200 years, this was not a thing. Why is it a thing now? Why are we so concerned about civil disobedience? Why is Donald Trump so concerned about civil disobedience? It's because he knows that the promises he made to you MAGA people, he's not going to fulfill them. As a matter of fact, he's going to do the opposite. He's not going to put America first. He's going to put other nations first. And he knows that you're going to have a problem with it. And if you go against him, he will smite you with his mighty hammer. Yes. He will use the military that is supposed to defend and protect us, right? Against any enemy, foreign or domestic. Well, they're going to violate their oath for Donald Trump. That's right. And you guys are going to love it, right? Because it's Donald Trump. Now, if this was Joe Biden, if it was Joe Biden, Barack Obama, or any other, if it was a liberal president or a Democrat president, you guys would be all up in arms, right? You wouldn't need me to tell you about this quick reaction force. There would be a lot more people talking about it. And salute to Black Spring with Autumn for talking about it over and over again for weeks and weeks, trying to reach out to you guys and let you know what is the purpose behind this quick reaction force and why is this so urgent? How did that work out in Oregon? Not too well. We must disobey illegal orders, Victor Gonzalez says. Absolutely. Barbara Devin says, I appreciate you. You're not afraid to speak the truth. I don't cut my nose to fit on no one's face. As you should not. Private monies. Trump is not bad how you think. Oh, yeah? Well, in what way is he bad then? If he's not bad how I think, well, what am I missing? You see, it's not really Trump. Trump is just Trump is a puppet. Trump is a figurehead. Trump was bought and paid for a long time ago when the Taj Mahal sank and he got bailed out by what is it? Not the Rockefellers, the other ones. The other family bank, right? You know, Bill Burr, he worked for them. Not the, God damn it, I forgot what the name of them was. Yeah, 249 years says realize. Absolutely. You for president, 2028? No, I would never be the president. If I became president, I would immediately work on decentralizing the government. I would shut. Methodically, of course. I wouldn't. You got to be methodical and strategic about it. You can't just go in there and kind of crazy wild shit. Yeah, Peter Thiel, he's the AI guy, right? Donald Trump, he's selling us out to the technocrats. He's selling us out to the Zionists. He's selling us out to the banks. Well, Barack Obama sold us out to the banks in 2008, right? Well, actually, you got to go back to 1913, to the Federal Reserve Act. That's when our country was sold out to the banks. That's when they took full and utter control of this nation. He sent for Israel. Yes, the Rothschilds. Yes, thank you, Luke Knight. The Rothschilds bailed out Donald Trump. I think in the 90s, when the Taj Mahal took a shit. So You know, if you really want to know who runs this country, well, think about one of the families that bought and paid for Donald J. Trump. You can't wait for the Epstein files? Well, I wouldn't hold your breath. They're going to come out, but it's not going to show you much. Palantir, exactly. Palantir, Oculus, all these different, the technocrats, right? Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you're just making shit up? Sure. Go look it up. Salute to Braxton Gelbreth. Look up who bailed out Donald Trump when the Taj Mahal failed. Yeah, I'm making it up. Sure. Am I mixed? Sure. You're just saying shit to get views. And this guy and people that think like him are the root of I'm the root of the country's problems. No. The root of the country's problems are people like you, Tim. Why? Because you're a statist sucker. That's why. Yeah. You're a statist and you don't like people that resist and think freely because, well, you are comfortable. You're that guy from the Matrix, right? You're the guy. I'm not the problem. The problem are people like you who continue to consent voluntarily to be governed and believe because you think your favorite guy is in office that he's going to take care of you when you're getting screwed the entire time. Sure. You're like that guy from the Matrix who knew that he was a slave as long as he was in the Matrix and decided to remain a slave because, well, he wanted to eat steak. I forgot that dude's name. What his name was in the Matrix. You look black but got white eyes. Do you know that there are, a black woman can produce a child with any eye color? It is what it is. And my eyes aren't white, they're green. They're green eyes. And I am black. Your side kills people that speak differently. What is my side, Tim? What's my side? Do you know what my side is? Your side kills people. Your side kills fishermen on tiny boats with motors so small and boats so small they would need to refuel 80,000 times to get to the United States. Your side kills people. Your side supports genocide. But what is my side, Tim? You have to ask yourselves, why would Donald Trump want to deploy 23,000 quick reaction force, 23,000 National Guardsmen for a quick reaction force to quell civil disobedience when you have police departments, you have sheriff's departments, you have local law enforcement? You know what I mean? You have those individuals for that purpose. Why do we need to deploy the military to walk around in uniform, armed with rifles, while you sit back, while you continue to be infringed upon? Instead of empowering the people and telling the people, look, we're going to remove every gun control law on the books in any state, right, that does not repeal their gun control laws. Well, those individuals, those lawmakers, those governors, they will be placed under arrest for violating 18 U.S. Code 241 and 18 U.S. Code 242. If Donald Trump really wanted and was concerned about public safety, well, he would empower the people, right? He would empower the people. And he would not waste military resources by deploying them against their own people. No, he would have them focus on securing the border from enemy nations that may try to invade and cause problems for us. No, he wants to turn our military forces inward toward his own people. Meanwhile, we are still living under threat of being kidnapped and murdered with red flag laws, gun control laws, right? These types of things. Civil disobedience. National Guard is for any protection of any state, foreign, and domestic. Well, why hasn't these National Guards units, why haven't they had quick reaction forces since their inception? And why are they being deployed when there is no disaster to deploy them for? Why are we deploying National Guardsmen with no disasters, right? So they want you guys to believe that people coming together to protest, to speak out against the government, to criticize the government in groups, they want to convince you that that is a threat. They want to convince you you're a threat if you speak out against them. If you are civilly disobedient. Just so you guys know. To quell civil disobedience. Right? Civil disobedience. That's what it's for. A standing National Guard, quick reaction. You know what standing means? That means full time. That means always on the ready. Quick reaction force available for rapid nationwide deployment and quelling civil disturbance. Civil disturbance. That means that their own people. Our government wants a quick reaction force to quell civil disturbance. Civil disturbance. Now, I want you guys to understand that Joe Biden, in his term, set the table for Donald Trump to do what he's doing right now. See, during the Biden administration, he gave an order as well. And I talked about it right here. I think it was last year. I talked about it during a rucking live, because I'm rucking right now. I'm rucking with 80 pounds. While y'all talk shit, I'm rucking with 80 pounds and talking to you. Someone says, get lost, fool. No, you get lost. Here, let me help you out. Yeah, there you go. Orange Lofi says, how does it feel to be on the same side as the terrorists? Are you asking yourself that question? A lot of y'all are projecting. Anyway, so Joe Biden, see, I talked about this last year. Joe Biden set the stage and set the table for Donald Trump to do what he's doing right now. You see, Joe Biden issued an executive order that I talked about right here while I was doing my Ruckin' Live, where military intelligence and military units can assist local law enforcement during civil disturbances and use lethal force. Yeah, Joe Biden did that. Joe Biden issued an executive, I'm gonna say it again. Joe Biden issued an executive order that would give the US military the capability to assist local law enforcement during civil disturbances and use lethal force if necessary. So Joe Biden, he put that in place. Oh yeah. Y'all remember that? What laws did the government break? 18 U.S. Code 241, 18 U.S. Code 242. Look those up. 18 U.S. Code 241, 18 U.S. Code 242. They violate that every day. Any other questions? I just gave you that. I gave you 2 laws that they break. Very simple. Anyway, machine guns weighs 25 pounds, 2K ammo weighs a lot. Now, what machine gun are you talking about? This guy says, yeah, okay, bro. Yeah, okay to what? See, y'all are okay with Donald Trump violating gun control laws? I mean, violating our rights to keep and bear arms? Y'all call me the terrorist, but our government commits terrorism against us every day. You guys just don't realize it because you have been conditioned. You are conditioned slaves. They have groomed you to accept the chains of your own oppression. Oh yeah. And that's okay. You're here listening to me right now. Y'all don't like what I'm saying. That's why you're talking shit. Someone says fool. Okay. Taylor Reese says 18 code 241. Just looked it up. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. That is a law put in place by the legislators of this very government. Years ago, decades ago, it was put in place. 18 U.S. Code 241, 18 U.S. Code 242, which essentially states that deprivation of rights under the color of law. Deprivation of rights under color of law. That's 18 U.S. Code 242. 18 U.S. Code 241 is conspiracy to deprive an individual's rights under the color of law. What's it punishable by, y'all? Taylor Reese, tell me what it's punishable by. If you violate 18 U.S. Code 241 and you hurt somebody or kidnap somebody in the process, what is it punishable by? Right? And when it says under the color of law, that means you're using the law, the so-called these man-made laws, to violate someone's rights. That's what that means, under the color of law. That means when Congress people, when they enact laws, or when they pass bills and acts into law, and then the president goes ahead and signs it, if that law violates, or if enforcing that law violates the rights of the people, they are violating 18 U.S. Code 241 and 18 U.S. Code 242. Yeah. And listen, introducing those bills, introducing those acts, that's conspiracy. Conspiracy to deprive people of their rights under the color of law. They do it every day. Someone must know you're delusional. Okay. Sure. We the people need to rise together. That's what I'm talking about. Magic White for you says, you speak the truth. You have been for months. I appreciate you. But I've been talking about this on YouTube since 2019. And before that, I was talking about it on Facebook. I had 2 Facebook pages completely taken down by Facebook for talking what I'm talking about before YouTube. Before I came to YouTube, after my first child was born in 2010, I got on Facebook and I was talking about this shit. And before that, since 2000, let's see, I got out of active duty in 2000 and 2004. That's when I ended my active duty. And after active duty, I was introduced to a video known as Loose Change. It was on DVD. Someone gave a DVD to me called Loose Change in 2004. I watched it and I said, holy shit. Anybody in here knows what loose change is? Some of y'all might not have even been born in 2004. Who knows what loose change is? Salute to you, PCR James. I appreciate that. Casey, you wish I had a brain, but you're in here listening to me speak. I don't understand that. If I don't have a brain, why are you here? What does that say about you? What does that say about you? That you would even waste your time listening to somebody who doesn't have a brain. What does that say about you? I do not know what loose change means in this context. Loose change, look it up. Look up loose change 9/11. That was a major eye-opener for me. And from that point, I started doing a lot of research. And plus, I already had a lot of things I had issues with when I was in the military. I had a lot of things I had problems with as to why we were getting ready to invade Afghanistan and Iraq. While I was in the military, right? We weren't. Listen. We invaded. Some units invaded Afghanistan a year before I got out, right? And then all of a sudden, they were talking about Iraq, because they say, what did they say? What was the first thing they said? Oh, we gotta go into Iraq because they're harboring Osama bin Laden. They told you that Iraq and Saddam Hussein was harboring Osama bin Laden. And when that wasn't convincing enough, and when the people, when that wasn't convincing enough, when they could not convince Congress to go ahead and okay that, what did they tell them? Oh, well, Osama bin Laden or Saddam Hussein, he's gassing his own people, and he has weapons of mass destruction, which we know is a lie. We knew that was a lie. God can't. Anna McFarland, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't defend a single claim I make? What do I have to? What claim do you want me to defend right now? What claim do you want me to defend? Because see, you ain't talking about shit. What claim? Can you explain the rights that were violated under 18241? What are you talking about? Is this guy serious? Do you know what 18 U.S. Code 241 is? Let me pull that up for y'all, since you acting stupid as hell. Since you want to act stupid, I'll entertain you and give you some education. Let me help you explain. Let me explain to you what that is, since you're a dumbass. Okay? I can believe this. 18 U.S. Code 241. Okay, let's see what that is. This guy. Okay, now, what is it? What is it? Let me alter. Goddamn cookies, man. Goddamn cookies and shit. Anyway, 18 U.S. Code 241, conspiracy against rights. I have to. Do I have to go into it more than that? Conspiracy against rights. You can't figure it out. How about the 20,000 gun control laws? The 20,000 gun control laws on the books that clearly violate the right to keep and bear arms. How about the whose is that?
Was it shit?
Excuse me?
Niara shitted herself as she was throwing up. Oh, you asked me. I didn't know you.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Throw that in the trash.
I'm okay. My wife ain't got no coof. The 20,000 gun control laws that clearly violate our right to keep and bear arms. So that's 20,000 right there. Right? How about the rights to free speech that are violated? How about the right to be secure in our persons, papers, houses, and effects? How about civil asset forfeiture violating that right? Civil asset forfeiture, right? Civil asset forfeiture, eminent domain. Eminent domain violates our rights. Help me understand what you don't understand. Adam McFarland lies and says, you said sending the National Guard was illegal because of USA. I didn't say that. You're lying now. See, now you're moving a goalpost with a damn lie. I never said that. Oh, I'm conflating? What am I conflating? That's not what we were talking about. You're an idiot. Oh, so now you asked what rights are being violated. I said the government violates our rights. Someone asked, what rights does the government violate? I brought up 18 U.S. Code 241 and 18 U.S. Code 242. Yeah, I still got leaves. It's fall. Yes, it's fall. So there are leaves on the ground. Yes. It's how nature works. Leaves fall to the ground, they decay, and the nutrients from that go back into the soil, and the trees feed on that. What y'all are wild. Y'all, this guy, in relation to your claim about the National Guard. Well, I'll tell you what, if the National Guard gets deployed and there is a civil disturbance and they start violating people's rights because the government doesn't like civil disturbance, then yeah, they will be then violating 18 U.S. Code 241 and 18 U.S. Code 242. What don't we understand? Run the show if you don't agree or get out. Yeah, I'm exactly what I'm doing, stating facts. Explained it not until you looked it up on your phone. You're an idiot. Rioting is not a civil disturbance. Well, I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you're hurting people and destroying property, blah blah blah, well, that's another thing, right? But if you're just being loud and You know, you're just voicing your grievances and you're just complaining against the government and they want you to disperse and you don't want to disperse. Well, that's a whole different story. Adam McFarland, now he says, I'm saying nothing. All right, then you don't need to be here. There. I'm not going to allow you to waste your time. You can go ahead about your business. You're living in a country over and ran with foreign hordes, and you're complaining about, hey, let me see some ID. Yes, I'm complaining about that. That's what you want? You want them to come up to you. You're minding your own goddamn business. You want them to ask you for your papers. Does anybody know what that's? Think about that. Let me see your papers. Some uniformed, jackbooted thugs. You just walking down the street, minding your business. You're not doing anything. You're just walking. Or you might be protesting something. You might be displaying civil disobedience. But you're not committing any violence. You're not violating anybody's rights. Oh, they're thugs once they start to violate you. Exactamundo. When they start violating your rights, they are thugs. Point blank and period. So you show me your papers. That's what you want in this country. Right? You're minding your business. You're not violating anything. And you're okay with uniformed, armed men coming up to you and telling you, show me your papers. Exactamundo, the government is violating your rights every day. You just don't realize it because, well, you're a statist. And once you gain the understanding, you realize what I realize, then you know just how much your rights are being violated. But it's okay. You can stay. Hey, have at it. Have at it. But some people are going to come to the realization, even if you stay stuck on stupid, Exactamundo, you don't have to show ID unless you're suspected of a crime. Well, even that, what is suspected of a crime? What does that mean? Because, see, the authorities can just say that they suspect you of a crime, even if they don't really suspect you of a crime. But if you're just walking down the street, minding your own goddamn business, hell, you might have a rifle slung onto you. You might be open carrying, but you're not doing anything. They can just tell you, I suspect you of a crime. You think that's okay? Someone says, quit talking out my ass. Okay. You don't even have to be here. Hold on, let me help you out. If you feel the need to tell me to quit talking, then I'm going to help you out. So you're either illegal or an idiot. Okay. What part of legal does a moron not understand? If they ask for ID, it's a lawful order. No, it's not. It's not a lawful order. Amber, how do you verify that they even consider I was suspected something? You can't verify it. But because they're armed with a badge, you're just supposed to stand there and allow them to accost you. And you people love it. No, you're the traitor. You're the traitor if you feel like the police have a right to violate other people's rights because they're badged and armed. Then you're an idiot and you're a traitor. Period. And you can take that however you want to take it. What's probable cause? Someone says get a job. Why do y'all feel the need to tell people to get a job on Thanksgiving Day? Triggered traitor. Mr. Right On is talking about himself. So y'all love to come in here and project. NPCs. NPCs. They have a right to protect. Only traitor here is the one who is advocating violence against RPD. Who's advocating violence against RPD? Oh man, you guys are great. Anyway, so you got that deployment. And last year, I talked to y'all about Joe Biden issuing an executive order that would allow the military to use lethal force against civilians to aid law enforcement, local law enforcement. And now we have Donald Trump wanting to deploy quick reaction forces across our nation. See, you guys don't see the dots in order to connect them. But see, that's why I'm here. Someone says Biden is my daddy. You see, you guys know why I read the troll comments? Because they're not really trolls, right? These people actually believe what they're saying. And I want us to understand, right, that this is why we stay locked in chains. This is why we remain as slaves, because of people like the people in these comments that don't want to hear the truth. But they really do want to hear the truth. That's why they're here. That's why they made the comments, and that's why they don't go away. See, they'll stay in the comments and they'll make all these comments. Right? They'll make all these comments. And by the way, y'all should train up. You see, I got my bag right there. I got all my equipment. Chris Musson says, did this dumb fuck just say he's still in chains? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh, he called me a dumb fuck. Ooh. Yeah. See, this is what we're surrounded by. Freedom-minded people that want to hear the truth. This is what you have to deal with in society today. This is why we are not truly free right now. Oh, a conspiracy theorist who has no idea what he's talking about. Absolutely. See, I'm talking about the quick reaction force that Donald Trump wants to deploy across the nation, which is a fact. And he wants it done by January 1st of 2026. But I don't know what I'm talking about, right? And my position is, if you really are interested in public safety, in the safety of every individual within this country, then you would empower them. You would encourage them to take up arms. You would encourage them to train with those arms and be willing and ready to defend themselves. You see, Donald Trump isn't interested, right, in repealing the 20,000 gun control laws. He's not interested in repealing the NFA. He's not interested in repealing those red flag laws. No. He doesn't want you to be empowered. He wants you to rely on the government to keep you safe. Right? This guy is getting paid to say all this. I wish I was. He's deluded. He doesn't want to listen. Just be heard. Listen to what, Exactamundo? What are you saying that I need to listen to? You're at the wrong place, wrong time. Okay. I love it. I don't care about criminals or illegals being safe. Did I serve in the military? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Trump should be in prison. So should Joe Biden. So should Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Right? So should Dick Cheney. All those guys. Casey Williams says he served in the real military. Good for you, buddy. Sure, I was dishonorable discharge. Sure, why not? Common sense again is projecting. He asked himself, was he a cook or a knob shiner? That's what common sense again is asking himself. You can answer that question, common sense. That is really not common sense. But it's okay. Anyway, the bottom line is you guys are going to be okay with this deployment. That's what they want. They want you to get used to seeing during there's a civil disturbance. Let's deploy the National Guard. Yeah, that's what they want you to get used to. They want you to get used to seeing armed, uniformed men and women walking around. Yeah, you're going to be under military occupation before you know it. And you guys are going to love it. You're going to love it. Salute to Royal Loyal 33. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Salute to you. It's okay. I truly don't think you understand how politics runs. Politics are running in this country. Sure, I don't. If the Democrat Party could manage their cities, well, they're not just deploying these QRFs in Democratic cities. They're deploying them across the entire nation. Yeah. Not just in Democratic cities. Not on my 900-acre farm. Salute to you. Make sure you're willing and able to protect your 900-acre farm from an invasion of any enemy, foreign and domestic. Salute to you, though, for those 900 acres. Anyway, I'm going to get on out of here. What's the solution? Well, the solution, which I've talked about many times before, first, you got to get yourself ready, right? You got to be as self-sufficient as possible. That's the first step, right? Self-reliant, self-sufficient. But the problem is you still have eminent domain, right? Eminent domain is a problem, right? Property tax is a problem. So, you can buy your land and own your land, but you really don't own it because the government, they're allowing you to have that land. You just got to pay them property taxes. And then if they decide they need to take your land for any reason, they will take it, and then they'll give you fair market value for your property. So there's that. But do the best you can to be self-reliant, self-sufficient, and then you start working on decentralizing the government. It's about decentralizing, and then you go from there. You got to bring all the troops back, right? All the troops that are stationed across the world, you bring them all back to the United States. And then you go from there. Because when you start to decentralize, then the enemies of other countries, right? Other nations' enemies, right? Like China, Russia, North Korea, they will see an opening to try to take advantage. Well, you got to be prepared for that, right? And then you go from there. Trulio Diondo, I think I'm pronouncing it right, says, I'm glad YouTube actually recommends true patriots like you. Oh, salute to you. Oh, they recommended me? Wow, that's crazy. There was a number of years where they would never recommend me. And that's crazy they're doing that now. Yes.
Just stay right there, baby.
Ooh-wee. Anyway, I think martial law is on the way. But listen, you remember when Governor Hochul, she deployed the National Guard into the subways, right? Remember that? She deployed the National Guard into the subways in New York. Salute to Universal Truth. My brother Universal Truth says, salute, bro. The sheeple are scared and too scared to rely on themselves. That's unfortunate. But one day we will get there. One day you won't have a choice. One day. And I thought more people were waking up. I thought more people were waking up because of the actions Donald Trump has been taking over the last few months, right? Like with the Epstein files, with Iran, protecting and helping with genocide over in what's the name? But I get they so quick to forget Donald Trump's transgressions. I'm selling wolf tickets. Okay, pal. But salute to Universal Truth for that super chat. This guy says, what actions? Making sure America is safe. Who, as an individual, who is your first line of defense against any attacker? The march was good, Northern Sites. Walter Davis says, put your work boots on and teach yourself to fish. I agree with that. Teach yourself to fish, teach yourself to hunt. I bet your manly wife, our neighbors, no one likes. Sure. Yep. Maritime law, martial law, not martial. Trump cares for Trump. That's absolutely true. Gob says, as a lifetime Democrat, I don't understand how some people can still support Democrats, cable news, and social media. I've turned them into something dumb and hateful. Well, it's called conditioning, right? Social programming. If you know what social programming is, y'all should look up social programming. Social engineering, actually. Social engineering. Yeah, I'm mad because he took my BT card. I'm absolutely upset. Thank you. Yes, you figured me out. Yeah. I've been pushing the message of freedom for years because of my IBT card. You're absolutely right. I'd get further if I stopped blaming Trump. Would I? Would I? I don't know. How far have you gotten supporting Trump? Is my question. How far have you gotten? How far have you gotten supporting Trump is my question. Someone says do some homework. All right, well, tell me what homework to do. freedomsmarch80@gmail.com. Yeah. Yes, all these motherfuckers loving the boot, says curse Night Slayer. Yes, they love the boot. They'll lick the boot. Anyway. Trump derangement. He lives rent-free in your mind. Yep. Absolutely. Anyway, y'all, it's been fun. It's been fun. Yes, the Great Reset. The Great Trust. Look up the Great Trust. It is what it is, y'all. Free Israel. Anyway, y'all, quick reaction for us. What does it mean? Why do we need it? Why not just empower the people? Right? Why not encourage people to defend themselves? Right? Who is your first line of defense? I saw some people say me when I first asked that question. Who is your first line of defense when someone tries to attack you or violate you? Who is your first line of defense? Because, yeah, you can call the police. Hell, you can call the quick reaction force. But will they get there in time anyway? Who is your first line of defense? And if it's you, well, wouldn't you want the best tools and the best means possible to defend yourself? Or do you want them to continue to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms so that by the time they're done, all you can have is a single action revolver? That's what they want you to have, right? They'll restrict you all the way down, little by little, until all you can have is a single action revolver with a 5-round cylinder. It is what it is, y'all. But it's okay. Y'all can go ahead and continue to believe in Donald Trump, think that he's there for you. He's going to protect you and he's going to love you and rub you down and whatever you think he's going to do. But me, I know differently, right? Anyway. Oh, of course I'm about the 2A. What are we talking about? Absolutely. You think, as a matter of fact, great point before I get out of here. Release the Epstein files. Do you think that the people that don't want to release the Epstein files to you really want to protect you? You think that's really what they want to do? Ooh-wee. Anyway, much love. Like, share, subscribe. And let's keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. I appreciate everybody that came in. I appreciate the trolls. I appreciate the people that agree, disagree. Amen. The conversation needs to be had. The discussion needs to be made. I'll have that discussion and I'll have that conversation with anybody, right? Because echo chambers, well, they don't really help. You want to reach as many people as possible. And in order to do that, you got to have conversations with people that don't agree with you. Even the ones that, they say silly, stupid shit. They launch ad hominem attacks. They move the goalposts because they really don't have anything to go against what you're saying. It is what it is. You still learn something every time. Anyway, holla at y'all later. Peace.